This is Numbers chapter 33. These are the stages of the people of the land of These are the stages of the people of Israel when they went forth out of the land of Egypt by their hosts under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. Moses wrote down their starting places stage by command of the Lord. These are their stages according to their starting places. They set out from Ramses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month. On the day after the Passover, the people of Israel went out triumphantly in the sight of the Egyptians, while the Egyptians were burying all their firstborn, whom the Lord had struck down among them upon their gods. Also the Lord executed judgments. So the people of Israel set out from Ramses and encamped at Succoth. And they set out from Succoth and encamped at Etham, which is on the edge of the wilderness. And they set out from Etham and turned back to Pi-hahiroth, which is east of Baal-zephon. And they encamped for Migdal. And they set out from before Hahiroth and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness, and they went a 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Etham, and encamped at Marah. And they set out from Marah and came to Elim. At Elim there were 12 springs of water and 20 palm trees, and they encamped there. And they set out from Elim and encamped at the Red Sea. And they set out from the Red Sea and encamped in the wilderness of Sin. And they set out from the wilderness of Sin and encamped at Dophkah. And they set out from Dophkah and encamped at Alush. And they set out from Alush and encamped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. And they set out from Rephidim and encamped in the wilderness of Sinai. And they set out from the wilderness of Sinai and encamped at Kibroth Hattaavah. And they set out from Kibroth Hattaavah and encamped at Hazeroth. And they set out from Hazeroth and encamped at Rithma. And they set out from Rithma and encamped at Rimmon Perez. And they set out from Rimmon Perez and encamped at Libnah. And they set out from Libnah and encamped at Risa. And they set out from Risa and encamped at Kehelatha. And they set out from Kehelatha and encamped at Mount Shepha. And they set out from Mount Shepha and encamped at Harada. And they set out from Harada and encamped at Machheloth. And they set out from Machheloth and encamped at Tahath. And they set out from Tahath and encamped at Turah. And they set out from Turah and encamped at Mithkah. And they set out from Mithkah and encamped at Hashimona. And encamped at Moseroth. And they set out from Moseroth and encamped at Benejaakan. And they set out from Benejaakan and encamped at Horagidgad. And they set out from Horagidgad and encamped at Jotbatha. And they set out from Jotbatha and encamped at Abrona. And they set out from Abrona and encamped at Ezion-Geber. And they set out from Ezion-Geber and encamped in the wilderness of Zin, that is Kadesh. And they set out from Kadesh and encamped at Mount Hua, and at Mount Hua on the edge of Edom. And Aaron the priest went up Mount Hua at the command of the Lord, and died there in the 14th year after the people of Israel had come out of the land of Egypt, on the first day of the 5th month. And Aaron was 123 years old when he died on Mount Hua. And the Canaanite, the king of Arad, who dwelt in the Negeb in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the people of Israel, and they set out from Mount Hua and encamped at Zalmonah. And they set out from Zalmonah and encamped at Punon. And they set out from Punon and encamped at Oboth. And they set out from Oboth and encamped at Iyabarim in the territory of Moab. And they set out from Iyim and encamped at Dibon Gad. And they set out from Dibon Gad and encamped at Almon Diblathaim. And they set out from Almon Diblathaim and encamped in the mountains of Abarim before Nebo. And they set out from the mountains of Abarim and encamped in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho. They encamped by the Jordan from Beth Yeshimoth as far as Abel Shittim in the plains of Moab. And the Lord said to Moses, in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho, say to the people of Israel, when you pass over the Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their figured stones, and destroy all their molten images, and demolish all their high places. And you shall take possession of the land and settle in it, for I have given the land to you to possess it. You shall inherit the land by lot according to your families, to a large tribe you shall give a large inheritance, and to a small tribe you shall give a small inheritance. Wherever the lot falls to any man, that shall be his. According to the tribes of your fathers you shall inherit. But if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then those of them whom you let remain shall be as pricks in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and they shall trouble you in the land where you dwell. And I will do to you as I thought to do to them. That is chapter 33, Numbers.